Sampson for being one of the architects and the main architects of the amendment that's before us and having us take a look at this in a little different light. I'd also like to thank Representative Mike France for his help in the House, working with Senator Sampson and bringing forth this amendment, and Craig Minor, ranking member on the Labor Committee, for his efforts in putting this together as well. Madam President, the amendment that's here before us is something, as Senator Sampson has said, is really talking about free marketplace. Look, the issue is, as Senator Sampson said, are we going to mandate and take out of people's pockets because government knows better than anybody what is right for you? I mean, by the bill that's underlying, and I will talk about this at the end, this bill says that you as an employee do not have the wherewithal, the competency, or the forethought of figuring out that you may need disability insurance or long-term insurance. And we as a government know better. So we're going to go in your pocket, we're going to take out your wages, and we're going to hold them and force you with your money to buy a policy which you may not want, which you may not use, or which you may use. But we know better than you. We know better than you what you should be doing with your life. So let us control your life. And as I said, I'm going to get to the bill a little bit more, but I need to say that to segue into this amendment. This amendment recognizes the change in the environment that we have today. Parents are getting older. Families are getting more complicated. And we need to address that. What this amendment does is to say that we are going to ask the insurance commissioner to create various products. And these insurance products are going to give employees the ability to buy the insurance that matches their needs. If they're part-time employees, maybe they don't need as much. If they're full-time employees, maybe they want to buy a little bit more. If they are greater than 50 employees or 75 for Connecticut, and you get the 12 weeks off by the federal and state law, maybe you want to buy something that long. But not one size fits all. Not one size fits all. And what this says is we are going to allow people to individually decide for their own what's best. Some people have argued, well, the problem with that is that this is a small pool if it's all voluntary. The pool of people for which you choose from are small because the number of people who would probably do it would be limited. So what we said was fine. Let's take down the borders between Connecticut and New Jersey, Connecticut and New York, Connecticut and Rhode Island, and of some mild consequence, Connecticut and Massachusetts. And by taking down those borders for insurance, all those pools become available for an insurance company to use those pools to help us. What does that mean? So let's take a look at, first we got to go back a little bit. New York, New Jersey, Rhode Island, California, Hawaii, and I'm missing one other, have the disability, or I should say this type of insurance for employees. But they have not the workers' comp insurance that we have in Connecticut. They have statewide disability that employees have been paying in since the 40s. So adding a disability policy such as the one before us for paid family leave is a minor addition to an existing policy. That's why those states do it. We can tap into that pool. The Hartford Insurance Company, the very one that does business in Connecticut, operates and maintains the New York paid family leave and disability insurance. They're the carriers who take care of that. If we partner with them on a voluntary basis with employees, given the insurance of the state of Connecticut the right to create these products, they can use that pool in New York to help lower the cost for employees. So an employee can buy a disability policy. I am told that a disability policy can cost as little as $15 a week. So that's not a lot of money. And it's up to the employee if they want that. What this bill does is not only does it allow the employee to make the choice, not only does it take down the borders, not only does it open up to the insurance markets in the area, and frankly, it's every state that we could look at and partner up with, but in addition to that, it gives the flexibility for an employer and employee to say, tell you what, I'm going to do this disability policy and I'll split it 50-50 with you, and the employee says, okay, take it out of my paycheck, and the employee voluntarily takes it out of the paycheck. I know that at my law practice, I had my bookkeeper who recently, actually a year ago, had surgery that kept her out of the office for 3 months. Now, I paid for those 3 months. She only gets 2 weeks vacation, 5 personal sick days, and 2 weeks vacation, five personal sick days as a package. But she'd been there for a long time. It was mandatory surgery. I paid for 3 months. But if I had disability policy that I as an employer could talk to my employees about, just like health care, that would have been in play. And I don't mind splitting it, or they pay a third, I pay 2/3, whatever. But that's the flexibility that brings it. I heard some people talk about here that somehow they're know a business, own a business, operate a business, that they'd love to give this to their employees. I did it. I would take full advantage of this. And I know a lot of small businesses would. If you have an employee who's been there a long time, I'm proud to say my secretary's been my secretary for 33 years. Those are the employees that an employment company would do it for. And this gives that very flexibility to do that. And that same bookkeeper is out again for another serious ailment, and is going to be in and out for probably next year and a half. I'm going to cover it. But that's what business does. Let the free marketplace take place. Let businesses make that choice. I've heard some of the conversation in the circle talk about that the millennials coming up like to work from home. They like a more relaxed schedule. I got 3 millennials in my household, not anymore, they're off the payroll, but they're around, and they work on a very same type of schedule for their various employment places. There's no reason why the market doesn't react to the behavior as a business market. If you want good employees, then you are going to give a package that attracts those good employees. And you know what? If I'm in competition with the business next door and I don't have a package that's going to attract good business people, they're going to go to my competitor who's going to give a package. That's what free market does. That's exactly what makes us an innovative country. The ability to change, not by the fiat of government who wants a hand in my pocket, but by the natural progression of economics. People say, well, that's garbage because the big companies don't do it. Let me tell you, the big companies love the bill that you see in front of you right here. Because the big companies are saying, I already do this. If I'm a big company, I'm already giving you paid family leave on my nickel. Please pass this bill. Because you know what? Where I'm paying the employee out of my pocket as a big company, now the state is going to have that employee subsidize it. I don't have to do it anymore. That's why the big companies are not here saying this is a bad bill, because they know that this is going to take their bottom line and make it bigger, because the employee is now going to pay for their own benefit that they were getting from free from a company. So who is this going after? Medium and small businesses. Make no mistake about it. Make no mistake about it. The federal law gives those employees 12 weeks off because they're a big company under federal law. And the companies are paying for that. Now they're saying, good. Now the employee's paying for it. I could put the money someplace else. It's the medium and the small businesses that are going to say, I've got a 5-person shop, and I've got to lose 2 employees. I am down. What am I going to do? I'm going to hire a temporary person? I'll tell you this other thing. Even though you're a big company, I was talking to somebody at UI, and they said, we're going to have to hire 5 to 10% more people at UI. Why? Because their jobs are not interchangeable. There's certain jobs that have specifications that you can't take a person from this department and move it over there and expect UI to operate. So we're saying I have to add 10 to 15% more employees to my payroll because I got to make up for people taking this off or taking that off. Now you say, okay, what's so wrong about that? We're going to pay for it because they're going to run the Pura and say, we're guaranteed a profit on our UI bills. We're guaranteed a profit. My payroll is going up because of this bill. I got to raise the rates. I have to raise the rates. I'm guaranteed a profit. I got to raise the rates. That's what the law says. What this amendment does is say, forget all that. Let's let free marketplace take the position. Let's let them, employees who want it, go get it. Let's open up the door. Let's do something we haven't done in Connecticut, take down those insurance borders. Let's let the insurance pools from the state come in. Let's let individuals make the decisions they want to make. And maybe if you get 12 weeks off in a big company, you only want to get paid for 3. Maybe you're in a small office and you get, under this bill, the 12 weeks off. I only want to pay for 2. I want to pay for 6. I don't want an extended family. I just want me, my wife, and my kids. Don't give me the policy that includes everybody under the sun. I just want my 3 people protected. How much are you going to charge me? That's what it's going to do. It's going to create its own marketplace. And if there's a need for it, it will happen. But forcing it and thrusting upon people. And the irony is, I can't remember, it was this week or last week now, but we just passed minimum wage increase in this chamber. So we put money in the right pocket saying, we got to give them more. It's hard to live in Connecticut. We got to put more money in your right pocket. Put more money in that pocket. And then we go in the left pocket, we say, well, we got to take it out now. Now that you got more money, we got to take it out for this insurance because it's in your best interest. We know it. We're government. So you raise the minimum wage on one side, you take it out of the other. I don't understand the logic. Now it's net neutral. The logic is baffling. Madam President, what this does is open up the doors to allow the marketplace to take place. What it does is allow, which I think is good policy, paid family leave to exist. But it allows people to make that choice. And the only thing we're going to demand is that the insurance company creates those products that will be available so people could take advantage, and then let the marketplace with employees and employers determine what's the best solution. So I fully endorse this amendment. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Senator Fasano. Will you remark further?